Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Hello, what is up, guys? Klein here. You know the deal. Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number. I messed it up last time, so we're not even going to talk about it. We're here, and that's really all that matters. I have a big question to start it off, and some that I battle with regularly. That being, is it possible to order food on DoorDash without feeling an immense amount of shame? Is it possible to order off DoorDash without realizing you could just as well, with the same amount of money, go to the grocery store and buy 8 times the food you're ordering on DoorDash? Not only that, you could go to the grocery store, get a full grocery list, and come back before your order gets to your home. I can't do it. I can't. Now, I don't eat out much. I cook regularly every single day, 3 times a day. And it's great. I have no issues, problems, regrets about it. But every now and then I feel as if I need to celebrate. I need to treat myself for hard work or a long week of work on the fields, whatever it may be. And every single time I get that food order in my cart on DoorDash, and I cannot pull the trigger because I look at the price. I look at the food that's probably going to arrive cold. And it's just not worth, guys. It is just absolutely not worth. I could spend 5 minutes, go down to the grocery store and get myself a quart of ice cream. And we can treat ourselves with that. Maybe a bottle of wine. It's just not worth it. I wish I could get past it. My bank account doesn't, but I personally do wish it'd be nice to celebrate with some sushi on a Friday evening. But I cannot do it. So I am genuinely curious if people don't have this problem when they order off DoorDash. The amount of money that gets dumped into fast food is absolutely incredible, guys. Now, I don't personally experience this, again, because I cook a majority of my meals, but talking to friends who spend $500, $600 a month on just ordering food, this is unbelievable. It's not that good. Guys, when I say I cook, I mean, it is the most basic, bland approach to putting food into your body possible. This morning, I just threw chicken on a cast iron, threw salt and one type of seasoning on there, threw some dressing on the chicken, and just ate it bare. Bare is not the best word there, but my point here is that it wasn't much, but it filled the hell out of me. It was probably like $1.50. It was full of protein and nutrients that I need for my body, and I wasn't hungry after. It's really that simple. And I know people are foodies, but a majority of this fast food, it doesn't have it. It doesn't even taste that good. Yeah, my chicken was bland, but it had flavor. It was moist. It was filling. For whatever reason, a lot of the times I eat fast food, I'm never full afterwards. It doesn't give me that same satiation, if that's a word, that a cooked meal does. And that's almost always the case. Especially for like wing joints. It just never works. I don't know. I won't understand. I always suggest going the cooking route for personal health reasons, for money reasons. Yeah, there's just no doubt. Something interesting happened this week in the commercial space flight area. As you guys all know, humans are starting to travel to space, mostly the rich and the wealthy, popularized by Jeff Bezos arriving down from space with a demonic laugh that scared the world. Now, you'd suspect that things are fairly ironed out as these people go to space. right? Spacecrafts are ready. We're not going to have many issues because if someone dies on one of these adventures, it would be detrimental for not only the company, but the movement as a whole. Absolutely, it'd be terrible. And none of us want to see that. Now, I want you to imagine this situation that happened, I believe last week, maybe in the previous weeks. That being, you're a very rich, let's say Richard and Karen are billionaires. They haven't faced adversity in years. They sit in their mansion in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, California. They eat their incredibly petite, chef-crafted food, take their kids to school in the morning, come home and sit at their home office and enjoy life. And they decide they want to go to space. Okay, and they get on a SpaceX flight. Its tensions are high, right? There's always that thought as you're in a spacecraft, like, this could go bad. But you trust them. You're a little nervous, but you're overwhelmingly excited. And you finally get into space. Zero gravity. You're looking out the window. There's like 6 feet. That's generous. 2 feet, 3 feet between you and just the dark expanses of the universe, the empty universe. And all of a sudden, an alarm starts ringing extremely loud through the cabin. Warning, 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 warning. At this point, I think you automatically default to the thought that my life is over. Okay, and this actually happened on a SpaceX commercial flight. They are in zero gravity. They're just outside, or I guess they're still in Earth's orbit, but they've started to leave the atmosphere. The space is visible. And alarms start going off. All right, and not casual alarms. Not alarms like, oh, that might be something minor. It's something like, oh, this craft is going down and I am dying. And turns out that the problem was actually toilet related. Now, I want to be very clear here. The alarm did not come off as toilet related. The alarm here is there is a serious malfunction. The crew is scattering. Okay, so there are people in the space flight that are casual citizens, just enjoying, smiling, bouncing around in zero gravity, taking pictures with their wife. Warning, warning, alarm starts going off. The crew scatters. They have no idea what's going on. As far as they're concerned, the ship is going down. Okay? The absolute terror on these passengers, I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. But again, after the crew gets to work, it turns out it's a toilet. What about a toilet? A fan in the toilet. Now, you might ask, Hunter, why would you need fans in toilets? Well, how do I say this? Excreting waste safely in a controlled manner in space is not an easy task. Generally, on Earth, we have gravity to help us when we need to go to the bathroom. In space, there's no gravity. And excreting waste doesn't always go downward. So in order to prevent extremely messy and disturbing situations on space flights, we need to create some type of vacuum or suction that makes sure things go into a controlled container and don't, it's going to be pretty graphic, spew everywhere. Yeah, I think we had to use that word there. Turns out one of these fans malfunctioned. I'm not sure if they had problems with the bathroom situation following this, but I can tell you that everybody in that ship, for a moment's notice, thought that their life was over and that they were going to be crashing back to Earth. This is scary stuff. But I'm jealous. I'm still jealous. I think I would have put up with that stress to see a little deeper into the universe. Just a tad deeper into the universe. The discrepancies in wealth, guys. The discrepancies in the lifestyles we live in regards to our money is crazy. Can you imagine being well off enough in life that you can just leave Earth for a little bit to go into orbit? Yeah, I want to experience zero gravity today. What a luxurious want to be fulfilled, huh? One day I hope that at least one of us is in such a fortuitous situation that they get to launch themselves into space. We'll get there one day, family. We will get there one day. Recently, I've been battling this overwhelming fear of getting in a car accident. Now, I want to be clear here. This isn't a result of my inability of driving. I'm very confident in my ability to navigate the road. But I've recently had this random realization of how dangerous driving is and how dumb some humans are and how you just can't trust some of these people. I am extremely cautious on the road. My heartbeat increases dramatically when I'm on the road these days. Every time I see a car come around a curve, I'm like, please don't fuck this up, pal. Please don't fuck this up. And I don't know why. I don't know why I'm hyper aware of it. It's not like anybody in my family has gotten in a car accident or I've been close. No, nothing. No root of this realization or thought or paranoia, one could say. But it is just constantly on my mind. Driving is a dangerous thing, guys. Driving is a dangerous thing. And people are pulling out their phones. And in a moment's notice, especially in my little Kia, this thing is not built to take hits, I'll tell you that much. One MFer decides to spend a little too long trying to squeeze out this text message before the light turns green, and boom, I'm getting T-boned in an intersection, game over. That's all she wrote, baby. Klein performance, done. Interplanetary monkeys, done. It's a scary thought. It's a scary thought. Now, I realize it's probably not the healthiest to think about all the time. Ignorance is bliss, and I believe that more and more every year. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But God, it's on my mind. It's on my mind heavy. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. I used to think this was bullshit. I used to think the more information a human has, the more happy they become. And I believe this applies to me in somewhat of a way. I'm a very curious individual. I get dopamine from finding new information and connecting dots and creating pictures of how the world works in my mind that gets me going in life. But ignorance, as I start to accumulate more and more information, I truly do believe to some extent ignorance is bliss. For example, there are some pieces of information I wish I never learned. For whatever reason. What is the book's name? Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. It's an interesting book. And it talks about the role of luck in success. How the most successful people you've ever heard of in your life, Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, etc., how serious of a role luck played in their success of where they're at. The luck that Bill Gates ran into by being at one of the only schools in the country that had a computer that allowed him to be one of the first people to code, which in turn allowed him to be one of the first people to create a software computer company. This is one example of many, and Malcolm Gladwell is a fantastic author. But I believe that book, that information, the idea of luck and success has plagued my mind, or my mind weaponizes it in a very negative way. That being, it's getting better, but in the past, and you can definitely see it bleed through in some podcast episodes, I tend to observe people's success through how they got lucky. What was their lucky break? Now, I want to be very clear here. When I see someone that's successful, I don't discredit their ability to do something. Right? If I see someone with a successful podcast and they're very articulate and they have a lot of content, yeah, absolutely. But there are a lot of people that are very good at what they do that aren't what we would deem successful, that aren't popping off, that aren't in the top 1%. And a lot of those people didn't get a lucky break. For example, there's probably a bunch of YouTube channels out there that cover what they do extremely well. They're very talented. They're very passionate about it, whether it be makeup, toys, video games. But for whatever reason, they just can't break that 50,000 subscriber mark, 100,000 subscriber mark. Is it because they're not successful? Or is it because they're not talented? No. No, it's not. Is it because they haven't had exposure? Maybe. My problem here is, and back to my main point is I wish I didn't have this Malcolm Gladwell luck type of scope in my head. I wish I believed that if you work hard, you will get successful. You will become successful no matter what. I wish all I knew was these motivational speeches I see on YouTube every now and then, because it is bliss. There's not this doubt of, is my effort actually going to culminate into something? They said, wait, these guys said that if you work hard, you get everything you want in life. Oh, but this guy said, well, you also need a little chance and luck on the side. and there's a lot of things like this in my life that I'm questioning at this point. Is the benefit of information and knowingness and intelligence and understanding worth the negatives that come along with it? Now, I still believe yes. I believe information is the crown jewel of human existence. Being able to ask questions is the most valuable or most important, rewarding thing that a human has. It's what we live for. And gaining new information allows us to ask better questions about ourselves and the universe, etc. I believe this is all beautiful. But when you peel the layers back and you really look at things in a big picture and you come to the realization that it doesn't really matter, and what truly matters is happiness, joy, loved ones, family, relationships, just enjoying the human experience for what it is. More often than not, it seems that ignorance is truly bliss. Who knows, guys? That got really deep really fast, and I honestly didn't expect to talk on this. But that's how I feel. Now, do I regret putting a majority of my life into knowledge gathering? No, absolutely not. It's made me who I am. But we still question things constantly and forward. Family, constantly and forward. I encountered something called TUDUM. Okay, and TUDUM is like a Netflix conference that I guess started recently. I'm not really sure. It's been a little under the radar. But a bunch of entertainers online were sponsored by it and were hosting watch parties, and I ended up hopping in because, hey, we used to watch Netflix. We do every now and then. And yeah, essentially, it's like a yearly conference show that Netflix started that does a little teaser for future shows and future seasons of shows. And it also celebrates the popular shows that we've had in the past, brings on the cast. Pretty much a live entertainment conference for everybody on the planet, because we all at one point or another were absorbed into a Netflix show or movie. So it was about 3 hours long, and because it was a Saturday morning and I wasn't where it was like one of the first weekends I had off, I watched the entire thing. Now, was it worth my time? I'm not exactly sure, but does it really matter now? What we found out is that, one, The Witcher is bringing on a new season, and I love The Witcher. I absolutely love The Witcher. I never read the books, but I did play the video games as a child. And the TV show was an absolute treasure. When I watched The Witcher, it was one of those shows on Netflix where you are so bored. You have nothing to do.Maybe it's like a Friday night, Saturday night. I think I was back in Nebraska, living out in the middle of the country, doing absolutely nothing. And no one's even told you about the show before. Netflix recommends it, and you are at such a bored and slow point in your life. You're like, yeah, sure, let's just like watch a random episode of this show I've never heard of. And it was right when The Witcher came out. And it turned out to be such a rewarding experience in a very popular show, so it paid off. So my journey, my relationship with The Witcher is an interesting one, and you bet your ass I'm excited for season 2. Now, they are really exhausting this horse here. They're really pushing this bad boy to the limits. When I say that, I mean they're creating an anime series for The Witcher. They're creating like a children's universe for The Witcher. They are milking this bad boy, but rightfully so. It had a lot of success. And on top of that, the other big piece of news for me, I guess, is that there is a new season of Stranger Things coming out. Yep, one of the greatest shows ever. Now, again, I feel like a lot of these TV shows we watch, we're always chasing the nostalgia that we felt those first 2 seasons. And more often than not, They don't always, they tend to fade off in regards to entertainment and joy and quality. I don't expect the most out of the new Stranger Things, but we will chase the dragon, if you will, and try to see if we can get that season 1, 2 feelings of Stranger Things going. But TUDUM was great. I highly suggest it. Year to year, the TUDUM, I don't know what you want to call it, a film festival, online film festival, whatever it might be, definitely worth watching. It was entertaining. And to see some actors talk about their roles and how they do it, I'm fascinated by the creativity there and how these people do their job and how they work. Acting was always a very interesting thing to me. The last big piece of information, news, history, backstory, whatever you want to call it, is my technology is very aware of what's going on in my life right now. And, I allow them to. I allow them to watch what I do, record my interests, so I can, in turn, get really quality Instagram ads. And that's pretty much it. But as a result, YouTube thinks that I need to learn, and I quote, how to double your matches on Hinge instantly. End quote. Now, of course, there is content on this. Anything in the world, there's content on YouTube. Okay, so this shouldn't come as a surprise, but I think this is a big mistake. If you're clicking on this link, you have it wrong. How to double your matches on Hinge, unquote. What are we doing, family? Okay, just be yourself, you effing weirdos. Get onto the app, talk about yourself, get off. This isn't a fucking, we're not trying to biologically hack, okay? We're not trying to wear the correct colors to up our chances by 5% of getting a match, right? If you wear red, you're going to appeal to the, what are we doing? This is too much, guys. This is absolutely too much. If we're trying to min-max our dating profile apps by strategizing to increase the percentage chance that we match, you need to get your life together, bud. I don't think this is the right move. Now, I did not watch the video. I couldn't get myself to. But in the same vein, I was introduced to a guy who, I'm not even going to talk. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Who just shitlorded Hinge. Created the most meme profile ever. Right? What the way to my heart is booty eating. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That level of troll. And I watched this guy troll the app. And then continue to match with females and then call them as a complete Chad bro, stoned off his ass, talking about eating booty. And yeah, I know this is vulgar. My point here in bringing this up is that the fact that this man was actually able to achieve matches, talk to women on the phone, and take action was a disappointment. It was disheartening to say the least. Now, keep in mind, I know people in my life, I have people in my life that have met their wife, their spouse on a dating app. So not all hope is lost. And I'm not even, trying to insinuate that I am in this position. I am more of a window shopper right now, and I've been very clear about that. But some of these women out there, man, there are an abundance of beautiful women in the world. There is no shortage of beautiful women. There is a shortage of women that hold the personality traits that I am interested in. So patience is the name of the game, family. And we wait. We stay busy. We stay on path. And that's just really how we do it. That's how we hack the system. That's how we hack the damn system. Guys, as far as my life, things that are going on right now, I cannot complain. Right now, I'm just trying to grow my business, stay on track. I'm past the celebration phase of, getting freedom, I guess, living a life that I enjoy. And it's now time for me to make moves and improve my business. Number 1 is a photo shoot to create content for online media. Number 2 is to create a philosophy and detail kind of what Klein performance is in a document. Once I get photos, once I get a description of the company, I combine these, I give them to a website creator, and I say, make me a website. Let's do this damn thing big. I also need to make a logo. So combining those three things, handing them over to a website designer and telling him to create something beautiful. That is where we need to go. That is the path I'm on right now. I need to improve. I need to legitimize my business and create something more. Because right now, it's always, I think it's natural for me anyway, and very beneficial and natural for humans to look in the future and say, okay, what is the potential here? And right now, since the company completely rests on my shoulders and my ability to do work and my availability, I see a very hard cap on the amount of money and the amount I can do with my company, the amount of people I can touch. And right now, I need to legitimize it. Once I legitimize it and get enough interest, then I can begin hiring other sports performance specialists, and then we can grow this bad boy. Turn it into something legit, something powerful, something that helps people, something that brings like-minded individuals together. And that's the goal right now. I have an extreme motivation to progress the company forward, and it's really the biggest part of my life right now as far as growth, satisfaction, when we turn on our favorite song and get goosebumps about the future. That's really where it's at for me right now. So we push forward. I'm in the position many times where, you don't want to go to work. You're having a bad day. But I'll get to work and I'll stand on a hill on a beautiful sunny and 75 day in Texas, wearing a cut-off shorts and some New Balance turf shoes, and think to myself, holy shit, this could be a lot worse, family. This could be a lot worse. I got a good effing life right now. So we cannot complain. We're in a very beautiful spot. Comparison still sneaks into our life every now and then. We see a very wealthy person in a nice car and think, damn, that would be nice to have. That would be nice to have. What can I do? Am I not doing enough? Am I not doing enough? I think I can get that car. I need to do more. We have thoughts like that quite often, but we try to tame them. Right? And just make sure we do everything we can to improve, push forward, and grow. Continue to create, continue to self-express, and goddamn, at one of these moments in time, we'll catch a little lucky break, a little lucky exposure. Run into the right person, maybe. Who knows, family? Who knows? All right, I hope everyone is doing well. Getting a lot of good feedback from people in the community recently about the episodes. Things have been a little stale. That's just really what it is. The podcast is a reflection of my life. And sometimes things right now can get a little stale. It's all for the future. We hone our craft. We improve. People gather value if they can. Show up for 1 week. Don't show up for 10 more and come back. Maybe that's how it works. Live your life, family. I hope you all are doing well. If you're not, battle through. If you are, enjoy it. You guys know the mantra. This is Hunter Klein. That's all for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, and you'll hear from me next Monday. Peace, peace.